Thank you for welcoming me onto your screens or onto your headphones, depending on how you're watching this. I'm Eddie, and this is The Rollback. Folks, I'm going to talk to you today about Renfield, aka group therapy, but with, Dracula? So the synopsis. Renfield is a tortured soul and the familiar of his over-the-top boss, Dracula, forced to do his bidding and meet every single whim. But after centuries of servitude, he decides he wants a life outside of working for his boss, the Prince of Darkness. So this movie is a bit of an odd duck. Not a movie I was actually planning on watching at all. It just happens that we're going to be doing a podcast review of it next week. So watch it. Let's see what happens. And this movie exists in this weird space where it shouldn't work, but it does. It's over the top. It is very much it's a comedy, but it's almost a borderline parody comedy. It has no business existing, and somehow it exists well. It's like Shaun of the Dead almost. It shouldn't work, but somehow it does. And it takes a hard topic of codependency and at times an abusive relationship and really confronts the fact that, hey, you are enough. You do deserve happiness. You deserve joy in your life. Renfield is literally the servant of Dracula, but he longs for a life for himself. He wants to live on his own. He wants to do things on his own, experience things on his own, be happy. And when he gets positive reinforcement from other people, it fills him with joy. He wants to be a better person than just being Dracula's servant. Admittedly, at the beginning, I thought they did a clever thing. He was going to these self-help groups for people who had jerks as partners, and he would get rid of the jerks. He would hey, you're coming to go see Dracula and you're going to die. That was basically his whole premise, which immediately got me on Renfield's side. I'm like, oh, okay, he's doing it in a positive way. I kind of like how clever that is. And then it just gets crazier from there. Believe it or not, that's the most sane part, is the fact that they target people that no one would want. Dracula wants to rule the world, apparently. There's this gang in New Orleans that run everything, that pay off people. It's a mob gang, and they want to use Dracula to try and... I'm sorry, I think they're in Los Angeles, not New Orleans. My apologies. But yeah, at some point, there's a gang that's involved that wants to use Dracula to be their enforcer, which kind of makes sense. Why wouldn't you want the Prince of Darkness to be your heavy? It's so all over the place. Also, before I forget, there's Rebecca, a clean-cut cop who's trying to take in a drug-riddled asshole. And then there's a drug-riddled asshole named Ben, who Rebecca's trying to take in, two of the supporting cast, along with Nick Cage's Dracula, which he is hamming it up. If we joked that Jack Black was loving it as Bowser, Nicolas Cage was triple enjoying the fact that he was Dracula, because he was hamming it the fuck up. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, I'm just saying that exists. Now look, in this film, the action is solid. The writing makes some degree of sense. It's purely a work of fiction. This movie, and this is not an insult, this is just me really thinking, this movie feels like the premise that a college student came up with, their sophomore, junior year, kept in the back of their mind. They grew up, became a successful writer, and then we're like, oh yeah, I remember that one story I wrote in college about that, Dracula vampire guy and support groups and stuff. I want to go back to that and revisit it, and then reworked it into an entire goddamn script. That's what this feels like. And again, that's not me trying to bash it. It's just, it's so crazy. I don't know who the hell came up with this premise. Now look, for what it's worth, I can't say I don't like it. I do, but I can't imagine rewatching it. This movie has a good heart in it, but it'd be disingenuous for me to say that it's great. It doesn't have staying power, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I don't think I'll ever go back and rewatch it. I'm glad I saw it once. It was a nice experience, but I'm not rewatching it a second time. Fans of Nicolas Cage will definitely love it. Fans of Nicholas Hoult will definitely love it. Fans of Awkwafina will probably love it, because she is actually funny, and she does some good action sequences in this movie. It just feels like such a weird duck. It feels like a movie that you forget an actor does later on. This is like the Leprechaun for Awkwafina, if that makes sense. Oh yeah, she was in that. She made that weird movie. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. I doubt it'll get a sequel. If it does, I will be shocked. Actually, you know what? Renfield would make a good TV show. Well, that's it. That's going to wrap it up for this episode of The Rollback. C+. It's harmless. It's a harmless film. Yeah, that's it. That's going to wrap it up for this episode of The Rollback. Please like and subscribe. We'd greatly appreciate it. We're always trying to grow this channel. Let us know what you thought of the movie down below. And yeah, I'll catch y'all later. See everyone.